Good morning, children. Welcome to Unit 16 Direct and Indirect Speech or Narration Part 1. What is a narration? A narration is the act of representing the words of speaker. It means to represent a way a person has spoken. There are two main ways of reporting the words of the speaker. First is direct speech and second is indirect speech. Let's understand both of them. Now we'll study what is a direct speech. The actual words of speaker are quoted as it is. The actual words of speaker are enclosed in inverted quotes or quotation marks. Example, Yogesh was studying when his friend John came. John asked him, "What are you doing?" Yogesh replied, "I am studying." Now, if John wants to report the exact words spoken by Yogesh, he'll say, Yogesh said, "I am studying." And this is direct speech. Here you can see the quotation marks around the sentence "I am studying." So, said is the reporting verb here and "I am studying" is the reported speech. Let's look now at another example. Lucy was wearing a skirt. Rajesh asked Lucy, "Which color skirt are you wearing?" Lucy said, "I am wearing white skirt." Now, if Rajesh wants to report what Lucy said, he'll say, Lucy said, "I am wearing white skirt." And this is direct speech. As we can see, words are as it is without any modification. I hope now direct speech is clear. Now let's understand indirect speech. Now what is indirect speech? Indirect speech is the actual words of the speaker are transformed and second, it's said or written in simple language. Now why do we use indirect speech? The reason is that to avoid any confusion while using direct speech while reporting. Let's take the example of direct speech that we just learned. We'll convert those sentences into indirect speech. We saw that in direct speech we use the words as it is. As Yogesh said, "I am studying." On converting it to indirect speech, we get it. Yogesh said that he was studying. What are the changes that you can identify here? First is the removal of quotation marks or inverted quotes. Second is the change of tense, as we can see the present tense changed to past tense. And the third is use of conjunction that. Let's take another example. We had read, Lucy said, "I am wearing white skirt." On converting this sentence to indirect speech, we get Lucy said that she was wearing white skirt. Now what are the changes that we can observe here? First change is the removal of inverted commas. Second change is the change in tense. As we can see, the present continuous tense is changing to past continuous. And third is the conjunction that is used. Children, I hope the direct and indirect speech is clear to you. Now we'll understand how to convert a direct speech to indirect speech. Before we begin with the conversion, there are certain things you need to know. There are three main concepts that you need to know. First is what is subject and object. Second is the first person, second person and third person. And third is the tense. We have already studied about this, but we'll still revise it in short. So what is the subject and object? Let's understand it with an example. Shazia said to John. Now, Shazia is the person doing the action and John is the person receiving the action. So the person doing the action is the subject and the person receiving the action is the object. Now let's understand what is first person, second person and third person. Let's understand it with the point of view. In English, there are 3 point of views. That is first person, second person, and third person. Now let's understand each with an example. Ravi and Isha are in the room and Ravi is telling to Isha about Nikita who is not present there in the room. And in this case, Ravi is the first person as he is speaking. Isha is the second person as she is listening. And Nikita is the third person, that is the one whom they are talking about. For the complete chart of first person, second person and third person, please refer this image. Now let's move to tense. Time at which the action is performed is tense. Tense are divided into three, that is present, past and future. And further they are subdivided into simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. And we have already studied the 12 tenses. So children, these are the three main things that you should know. Now let's understand the steps to convert a direct speech to indirect speech for statements and simple sentences. The first step is to identify. This is the most important step as you need to identify 5 things over here. First is subject, then object, reporting verb, first, second or third person, and if the sentence is in past tense, then we need to identify the tense. On moving to the second step, it is the change of reporting verb. Here as we can see, the reporting verb changes to the following way. Said to changes to told, said changes to said, say to changes to tell, and says to changes to tells. The third step is to remove the inverted commas and replace it with that. We'll remove the comma and the inverted comma, and in place of that we'll place the word that. The fourth step is the change of pronoun. The change of pronoun will be identified in the reported speech and the changes will go as follows. The first person will be decided as per subject, the second person will be decided as per object, and the third person there won't be any change. So you can learn this with the acronym SON, which is also called as son. Students, remember the change of pronoun very nicely. First person will be decided as per subject, second person as per object, and third person there won't be any change. Coming to the fifth step, that is change of tense. It will happen if the reporting verb is in past tense and the reported speech is not a universal truth or habit. Moving first to the present tense, where simple present is changed to simple past, present continuous is changed to past continuous, present perfect is changed to past perfect, present perfect continuous is changed to past perfect continuous. Coming to the past tense, simple past is changed to past perfect, past continuous is changed to past perfect continuous, and past perfect and past perfect continuous won't change. In future tense, will and shall will be changed to would or should, and in the modals can or may will be changed to could or might. So these are the changes that will occur when we change the tense. Now let's come to the final step, that is change in the words denoting time. Here words indicating nearness are changed into words showing distances in indirect speech. If these words are presented in the reported speech and the reporting verb is in the past tense, then the following changes will occur. The here will change to there, tomorrow will change to the next day, today will change to that day, yesterday will change to the previous day, this will change to that, now will change to then, and tonight will change to that night. These are the 6 steps that we use for changing a direct to indirect speech for simple sentences. Let's understand the 6 steps with example. She said to me, I am playing football with you now. Now as we read, the first step is to identify. So here she is the subject, me is the object, said to is the reporting verb, I is the first person, you is the second person, and as said to is in past form, so we need to change the tense of the reported speech. As for now it's present continuous in this sentence. Second step is the change of reporting verb here. So said to will change to told. Third step is to replace the inverted quotation marks with that. So the sentence will be she said to me that. Fourth step is the change of pronoun. Here I is the first person and subject is she. So I will change to she. And you is the second person and object is me. So you will change to me. The fifth step is the change of tense. As we can see, the sentence is in present continuous, so it will change to past continuous. So, am playing will become was playing. And the sixth step is change of words denoting time. So, the word now indicates nearness. So, it will be converted to then, which indicates distance. Now, the final sentence of indirect speech is she told me that she was playing football with me then. I hope this example is clear to you. Let's look at another example. Example, Ram said Shyam, I started a new job. Now the first step is identification. So Ram is the subject here, Shyam is the object, said is the reporting verb, and I is the first person. And as said is in the past form, so we need to check the tense in reported speech. It is in simple past tense. Second step is the change of reporting verb. As per we had studied, the reporting verb said will not change, it will be said itself. Third step is to replace the inverted quotation marks with that. So the sentence will go as Ram said Shyam that. Next step is the change of pronoun where I is the first person and the subject is Ram. So I will convert to he. Please note that pronouns will be used in reported speech to refer to the subject or object in the reporting speech. Now the next step is to change the tense. Here the sentence is in simple past, so it will change to past perfect tense. So started will be converted to had started. And the sixth step won't be used here as there are no words indicating to time in the reported speech. So the final sentence of indirect speech is Ram said to Shyam that he had started a new job. Moving to next example, they said we will plan a picnic tomorrow. Let's look at the first step, that is identification. They is the subject, said is the reporting verb, we is the first person, and as said is in the past tense, so we need to change the tense in the reported speech. Here it is simple future tense. Second step is change of reporting verb. As we had studied, said will be unchanged, it will be said only. Third step is to replace the inverted quotations with that. So now the sentence will go as they said that. Next step is change of pronoun. So here we can see we is the first person and subject is they. So we will change to they. The next step is the change of tense. So as we can see is in simple future and will here now change to would. The sixth step is change in time denoting words. So here tomorrow will change to the next day. So the final sentence in the indirect speech will go as they said that they would plan a picnic the next day. Moving to another example, the teacher said to the students, the sun rises in the east. The first step, identification. Here teacher is the subject, students is the object and said is the reporting verb. As said is in the past form, so we need to check the tense in the reported speech, as here we are using simple present tense. Second step is the change of reporting verb. As we had studied, said to changes to told. Third step is to replace the inverted commas with that. So the sentence will go as the teacher told the students that. Fourth step is the change of pronoun, but here in the sentence we don't have any pronoun. So we move to the next step, that is change of tense. As we can see, the sentence is the sun rises in the east. This is a universal truth. So there won't be any change in the tense. The next step is change in time denoting words, but as we can see there are no such words indicate time. So this step won't be followed. So the final indirect sentence is the teacher told the students that the sun rises in the east. Let's understand it with one more example. He says to me, I am running. As the first step goes for identification, as here we can see he is the subject, me is the object and says is the reporting verb. I is the first person. And as says to is in the present form, so we will not check the tense. Second step is the change of reporting verb. As we had studied, says to will be converted to tells. Third step is to replace the inverted commas with that. So the sentence will go as he tells me that. Next step is the change of pronoun. Here I will be converted to he. Now fifth and sixth step will be eliminated as the reporting verb is in present tense. So now the final sentence in the indirect speech will go as he tells me that he is running. So I hope now the conversion is clear. We'll understand the topic further in the second part.